So I guess we'll open the floor up to see if there's any questions anyone would like to ask about things going forward. Yes.
Is there an age restriction for players? I have a younger brother and I don't know.
Yeah, so we want it to be PG. Yeah, so there will be a list of rules that are getting posted up. We're going to have a separate Discord channel instead of the one that we've got currently that everyone will jump into as players. And there'll be a list of rules that are essentially an agreement that everyone has to accept going forward to play in the campaign. In short, they're basically be a decent human being and come along to have fun. But the idea is that it would be PG so that anyone who is younger can come along. So we do aim to have younger people join in as well. Any other questions?
You mentioned about flying speed.
Yes.
Does it sound like later on, like say level 7, 8, something like that?
Class abilities that have a timing restriction, so like I'm in at 10 minutes, they're fine.
Yep.
It's anything with an innate ability. So a good example is the Aarakocra. Yeah, having an innate flying speed, that's one we want to avoid. Cool. No other questions? Yeah, you have a question?
I have a question about levelling up.
Yes.
I heard it was XP based.
That's correct. Yeah, so the idea is going to be that each adventure will have an experience quota, so that each adventure will have a set amount that everyone will get. If you're not familiar with experience leveling up, we can take you through all of that. It's pretty straightforward. As far as if some of you are familiar with milestones, we're going to be running milestones for the village itself. So early in the campaign, at least initially to start with, it'll be more about just getting familiar with how the campaign itself is going to run and organise itself and operate. Then later on, certain missions will be able to reflect how the village itself will grow and expand. So you may be able to complete a mission that will attract, say, like a magic items vendor to come into the town and peddle particular wares. So initially, milestones will be kind of few and far between, at least until we kind of get ourselves a little bit more knuckled down for how we're going to work everything out. But those milestones will be announced well in advance, and when adventures come up that will reflect those milestones, we'll make sure they're clearly marked and everyone knows what's happening. Cool. Yes?
Starting level?
Level 1. Yeah. We're all going to be basic adventurers alone from the start. There's quite a few new faces, especially new people who are coming into the game quite fresh. We've run a couple of new learn to play sessions in the last 2 weeks, and quite a number of those players have decided to join in. So to keep everyone on the same level, start from level 1 and build them up. Not always exciting for the veterans, but we'll get through those early levels pretty quick. Yes?
Is there a planned end date for this campaign?
There is not currently. Yeah, so it's going to be fairly long at this stage and quite expansive, we hope. We also plan in the future to have a few kind of global events or world events where multiple tables will have to work cooperatively to achieve certain goals. So there will be quite a length to it, but as it's a drop in, drop out, there's no real having to lock in and stay playing that whole time either. Yeah. No one else has any other questions? Yeah.
No, you said any classes or anything like that in a published book.
In a
what about
hardcover
any in a hardcover third party?
I would have to go case by case, I think. Yeah.
I was more thinking Grim Hollow. I find.
Haven't read it myself,
Okay.
so I would have to.
I find a lot of their stuff quite balanced, but to approval.
Yeah. I mean, look, nothing is basically off the
I haven't
table.
played with it yet, but I have read through it and I do have a
good
copy of it.
content,
So
Yeah.
some interesting stuff that I'll put into it.
We're all, I think, of the opinion that the D&D is designed to have fun, so we're not going to try and hard limit anything out, but apart from those flying and swimming speeds.
Yeah.
But yes, if you've got something that you desperately want to play, bring it to the table and we can always have a look and try and work it out. Cool. Yes?
Would it just be easy to say like anything that's just a reference source on D&D Beyond or something, since that's all visibly coast-based?
Yes.
Some of that isn't.
I mean, yes, some of it's hasn't been published in hardcover books, but there normally is the expectation that it's been published here, that it's either coming, not too far away. As I said, anything you've got that you're pretty keen, bring it to the table, we can definitely work it out.
So non-UA.
Non-UA.
Oh, obviously.
Absolutely non-UA. Yes. Seen some of the crazy things that have come out of that. Cool. Alright, well we have some character sheets here if anyone needs to grab a character sheet. We're going to be using just the basic character sheets out of the player's handbook. We're asking that everyone maintain a paper character sheet for the session, just for our own bookkeeping as well, so that we can quickly check over character sheets before sessions begin if we need to. Otherwise, dice, pencils, erasers are all on players to bring for themselves, and hopefully we should have everything else that we need here as well. Cool. No one wants to ask any other questions? Yeah.
I got 2 questions.
Perfect. Let's go one at a time.
First question regarding multi-classing.
Yes.
What's the rule around
As long as you meet the multi-classing requirements in the player's handbook, you are welcome to multi-class.
Very cool. Second one is, do we have a set date throughout the week that we plan to do this? Like e.g. Thursday?
So as I said, it's designed to be very flexible. So we'll post up our adventures, and we'll probably post up availabilities that we have for those as we put them up. So like myself, when I post this adventure up, I'll put down my preferred days, and then a group of people can basically jump in and say we can all do this day, and we'll jump in and plan on the day. Yeah, designed to be very flexible so that you don't have to come in on the same day every week, and you can try and pick those days of work. Yes?
It doesn't have to be a set group. If you've just got one person who wants to play on a date, just put your name in the Discord about it, and other players can see that there's someone wanting to play, and you can form a group there. It's like, don't form groups and come together every week.
Absolutely. Think of those missions as like a sign-up sheet. And so basically once it goes up, you can put your name on it and your preferred day to play, and as soon as we have enough people to run the session with the same preferred day, we'll run it.
Highly encourage mixing and matching.
Yeah.
Once a mission is, a quest is like done. So
Yeah.
the Goblin King, there's people, they did it, it's gone.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And however that mission is resolved, whether it be peacefully or through direct confrontation, will reflect in the world itself. Yeah. Yes.
Got another 2 questions. So will that just mean that, like, throughout the week, the first week, let's say, will everyone be doing the Goblin Queen? Or
No.
is it more like, okay.
So each of us will have an adventure that we'll post up, and we'll each have something completely different. I've brought mine as an example to show you. So my first quest will be the Goblin King. These guys are keeping their cats in the bag for the moment. But then you can basically, transferring king. But then you'll be able to pick and choose from those adventures which one you want to do, also based on availability.
Yep. Cool. And that leads me to my second question. Is there a limit on how many times we can come? Like, come to your session and then to Jordan's?
For those people who are very enthusiastic, at this stage, no. The only request we make is that people who haven't had a chance to play yet in that week will get preference in those seats. So if you had a chance to jump in on a session, someone else is going, I can only make it Friday, they'll get that Friday seat. Yeah. Try and give everyone a chance first. Yes?
How are you going to manage level mismatch?
That's going to be a bit of a challenge, but unfortunately there's not going to be any 2 ways about it that there's going to be level mismatches going forward. We plan on having catch-up adventures later on when there is a bit more disparity in levels, but in those early levels, the difference between having a level 2 and a level 1 characters in the same party isn't huge. The aim is for all of the first few adventures to put everyone on a very equal footing. It shouldn't really have a lot of disparity until we get past level 5.
Fingers crossed. It's my surprise
I think
you go
it's
for
one of those things
milestones.
that-
Look, I'm also very new to
Adapt
this,
to.
so it's going to be a little bit of case by case as we go. So we're going to have to learn to be flexible and work it out as we're going ahead as well. Yes?
Hi. Sorry, so what's to stop like a whole group of magic users per se? Like, I feel like that's
How do you balance a party coming to an adventure?
No, yeah, but like if say
If it's all magic users and
Yeah.
tanks,
Yeah, well,
very
alright.
squishy.
Then I guess that group of 6 magic users are going to have to be creative about how they problem solve.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to be up to us to balance your parties. It's going to be up to you to balance your parties, and I wouldn't prioritise that. All of us here are very much of the opinion that if you can solve a problem without having to go and run and hit it like a hammer on a nail, then please do. And if you've got 6 magic users in a party, then surely you should have some creative ways of getting around those problems.
Unless you're building something, then hammer and nail is probably...
Yeah. A ring. Yeah, a ring. That's it. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
Player deaths.
Player deaths are going to be an unfortunate circumstance of the campaign, of course. The city itself will have resources to be able to bring back players. But unfortunately, player death, if you don't have the resources to bring yourself back, will be permanent. So in that instance, you will be able to start again with a fresh character, and we'll have those catch-up adventures for you to be able to catch back up with the rest of the group.
So you'd be starting back at level 1 if you die.
You will be starting back at level 1 if you die.
Next.
Hot tip,
That's like
don't die.
Highly recommend not doing that.
very constitutional character.
With like deaths and stuff being brought up, obviously it's not a set campaign with set players and
That's
everything like that, or a set story.
Yep.
So character backstories and character arcs and development and things like that, is that something that's not expected to be?
Look, it's not the biggest priority in our creation at the moment, but obviously we still want to allow time for that to have limelight. It's not our intention to run an adventure where there is no role playing. This is not the military. So I guess the best way to put that is, if you're looking for those role-playing sessions, it's the best thing to do is to try and find a group of people who want those role-playing sessions and organise them with us through those organised
Yeah, I'd suggest just putting forward, hey, we're actually kind of interested in roleplay one, and I'm sure we'd be more than happy to try and build something around that.
Absolutely facilitate those adventures as well. More than happy to. Of course, through the normal adventures, role-playing will be there, sprinkled in throughout the adventures, but obviously when you've got different groups coming and going, I recommend that you build within the setting. Try and make your story as tied to the development of this settlement as you can, and you'll probably find that you have more chances to role-play within that than what you're expecting.
Good answer. Speaking of the setting, is there going to be like some sort of setting primer or something like that?
I mean, there is definitely something we can do for that, but I mean, at this stage it is very limited. So the main setting is just our island here, and as it's unexplored, there's not really a lot to know. It's up to you to find it. Yes.
Pantheon.
Pantheon. At this stage, I think we just go Forgotten Realms Pantheon. Just keep things nice and easy. Makes things nice and clean and crisp for everyone. Yes.
In the Discord, I need to join it still, but in the Discord, will things be, like storylines be like updated and stuff like that? Or like, so for example, your group who did Goblin Kings, are you going to do like a little summary of what went down?
That is absolutely something that we can do. We can post a summary. If we do that, it'll probably be a summary attached to the actual adventure. The Discord server itself is going to be set up as a forum, so any post that goes up will operate as something you can comment on, like a post, like you've been on Reddit. So at the conclusion of the adventure, DMs can absolutely post a synopsis on there. Yeah. Keep them firing, folks. I feel like I'm on a roll.
I was just wondering about metagaming, because as you said, there's people here who are veterans and people here who are brand spanking new. So, I don't know, how would you handle it if that happened at the table?
So, I mean, I guess the question then becomes, what's the concern with metagaming? You worry about people knowing the monster and circumnavigating the problem.
Sort of, yeah.
So, personally, I find with metagaming, the best solution is that we make tweaks to the monsters, we change things. Even veterans don't know every stat block. Of course, there are obviously things that people will know that others don't immediately recognise. But at the end of the day, you're a group of adventurers. So if someone has that little bit of knowledge and gives themselves an edge, then it shouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's when it becomes a consistent problem that we deal with it.
I think it's another one that's case by case. Really.
Exactly, yeah. I can't imagine that the things that we have planned will be things that will get metagamed soon.
That's horrifying.
In a good way, though,
It's very exciting.
Excellent.
You'll have an unhinged DM energy.
Maybe.
Yes.
The fact that we're on 4 hours sleep.
Like a show of hands, how many mothers have you had?
One hand.
Sorry, I was actually thinking of a mother.
I was also doing that. No energy drinks.
No energy drinks. I haven't even had a coffee.
Nobody plans to be made.
I had one. Red Bull infusions, man.
Was there anything else that anyone would like to know about the...
Just very quickly, again with the Discord, if my younger brother does join, I don't think he has Discord, so is that like...
So that's why we're hoping to have those sign-ups here through the shop as well.
Cool, okay.
So we'll hopefully have those posted here in the store that you can jumping and
I
working
mean,
out that way.
chances
as well.
are he would only really play if I'm playing, so I can.
Cool.
So like,
Yeah,
chances
just
are I could
add him
just
as a
say,
+1 on yours, absolutely.
That's another question. If you had somebody who was new and like you would only play with that other person, do you recommend not tying backstories? And backstories don't as much matter, but like having those characters tied.
Look, if you want to do that, you do that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to be the D&D police. We're not going to say you've played with this people for every session you've come to, you can't do that anymore. It's up to you to decide how you want to have your own fun. Okay, we're here to facilitate the fun. So if you've got a group of people that you want to come and play with, and that's what happens, that's what happens. We just also want to encourage people to be social and to get out and explore. We obviously all love this game and all want a chance to play this game. So meeting other like-minded individuals is a good opportunity to do that.
Other nerds. 100% the goal is to have fun.
Exactly.
It really is.
Yeah. Cool. Yes.
Two more?
Broke the street.
Is carry weight relevant? I just know some DMs like to do carry weight. Is that your...
Look, it's not, again, we're not the D&D police. we're not gonna marshal your carry weight like absolute hard asses.
We're within reason.
Yeah, that's it. Be reasonable, you know. You can't fit 1,000 gold coins in your pocket, so be reasonable in that respect.
So what you're saying is there's a banter roll.
So smart. To piggyback off that, material components for spells.
Material components will go by the handbook rules, so if it has a negligible financial value, then a focus will completely circumnavigate it. If it has a financial value that's listed in the handbook of approximately a gold piece and above, then you'll be expected to have a material component. Yes?
When is the official first?
So my plan is, and I'm going to hammer these guys before we leave, but my plan is for us to hopefully post our first round of adventures on Saturday, so that sign-ups can start on Saturday for the following week. And that would be the plan going forward, is that each Saturday we will roll over into the next round of sign-ups. Yes. You did have two, just have to space them out.
Yeah. I was just thinking. So you were talking about how milestones exist and like certain vendors might come to the island as we progress further.
Correct.
Do we have an idea of starting resources, or will that be in session one?
From the actual cove itself, from the village that you'll be set up in, it'll be pretty basic stuff. Anything under 50 gold pieces in the player's handbook will be available in the cove. Anything above will have to have requisition and arrive, with either time frames or extensive cost. But as you develop the settlement, more of those resources will arrive and it'll be easier to procure them.
And more readily available.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How much freedom do we have on these quests? Like sometimes you tend to, you might go, for example, on the demon, on the Goblin King, and some people might be like, oh, what's this? Or what's that? Or and then they kind of just drift off.
They are going to be 4-hour sessions. So we're going to be trying to keep you as tied into 4-hour sessions as we can. If you getting distracted leads into something fun, as I said, we're here to have fun. But if you're something distracted is deciding to derail intentionally, then we'll try to keep you as on topic as possible. Our intention isn't to decide how you're going to enjoy your adventures, and if you decide that there is something more of interest to you on those adventures that you pursue it, that's completely up to you. In those instances, if the adventure is not completed, it'll be reposted to be done again. Yes?
Do you expect each quest to be finished, like relatively, if no one gets sidetracked, to be finished within the next 4 hours?
Initially, yes. And so for those early level camp adventures, absolutely. Our intention is for them to be singular 4-session blocks. When we get later into the campaign, we have already discussed how adventures could fall into 2-parters or how they can be completed by multiple different adventuring parties. So we have the expectation that later on, some of those adventures could be more
complex, right?
Segmented.
Yeah, sure.
Any other questions at all? No? Yes?
Have you introduced all the DMs?
Yes.
And covered the cost and stuff?
I haven't covered the cost. That's a good point. Perhaps you should do that. Perhaps you should cover the costs.
What's on the back?
$20 per session.
I think that was what was.
$20 per session. for a 4-hour block, and that's each session.
You just pay them as
you arrive here.
Yeah.
For the session. Yeah.
Cash or card, or both. Or
whatever works.
Or none.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully they're running a business that they've got set up to be able to accept either. So, absolutely either or.
So the money is going towards the store?
It is going towards the store, yes. Yeah. We're all currently at the moment volunteering at home. Yes?
Snacks in that case, so we have to bring our own.
There's drinks available here, but in the way it regards to snacks and food, yes, you would have to bring your own. Yeah, there won't be anything provided at this stage.
If you message me, I'll bring something.
I've got a habit of bringing stuff.
Yeah, I have something here already, so I'm not opposed to sharing, I suppose.
You don't sound super keen, by the way.
We're up to bribes and snacks too.
Hi, sorry. The sessions would only ever be in person. You've got a Discord, you don't do them online?
The plan currently is to have them in person, and we prefer to have them in person. Yeah, I mean, at this stage, the campaign we're running is about supporting the business here, as well as growing the community that we have. So the more that we can be here in the store, not only playing the game and having fun, but also spreading that to more people wanting to come in and join us, the better. Yeah.
Tokens, provide our own, or is there?
Yeah, so at this stage, the only thing that we provided by us is character sheets. And if you need loaner dice and things like that, we can absolutely make those arrangements. Cool. Alright, well, if no one else has any other questions, I'd just like to say thank you all for coming. If you have a question.
Will there be battle mats or no?
Yes, we'll have battle mats. We have our own Blade battle mats here. You'll have to put up with some of our poor drawing skills. But yeah, we'll have that. We also won't have every monster, but we're going to try and have as many of the monsters involved in the encounters and sessions as we can as actual mini-games have. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you all for coming down. We'll be hanging out here for a little while. If anyone wants to come out and have a chat, or you have any other questions you want to ask, not in front of a crowd, please come up and do that. Once again, Stubbs, Trent, Jordan, and Emily. If you need a character sheet, feel free to come up and collect one. If you want a hand building character, sing out, let us know. Otherwise, check in with Jeremy and Liz on your way out the door to get yourselves added into the Subterra Ludos Discord, so that when those adventures start getting started, you know exactly what they're about. Thank you all for coming, really appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.